Premier weighs in on a final report into allegations of contract corruption at AHS.
There was no wrongdoing on the part of elected officials.
But the opposition says not so fast.
I believe the Premier is insulting the intelligence of Albertans when she tries to claim that the report is saying something that it doesn't.
Plus, the ATA condemns the province's negotiation tactics.
We would not entertain any conversations around student-teacher ratio.
At the end of week 2, the strike drags on. And a 6-day celebration of ideas.
We're the exclamation point between the book being written and the book being read.
Wordfest is underway, connecting writers and readers in Calgary.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Dueling press conferences raised hopes for an end to the 2-week-long provincial teachers' strike. Instead, both the government and the teachers dug in their heels. They used their platforms to point fingers, showing exactly how far apart they are on many key issues. Tim Brooke reports.
The latest proposal by the province came in the form of a letter sent to the Alberta Teachers Association. It requested classes resume Monday, but bargaining continue, with a catch.
The letter included a statement that student-teacher ratios could not be included as part of the mediation process, and this limitation undermines any attempt at resolution.
Class sizes are still a major sticking point in this dispute.
$2 billion over 4 years is $500 million a year to begin to give concrete real solutions for classrooms today.
The ATA needs to come back to the table with a deal that is grounded in reality.
Most Canadian provinces do have class size caps, but as of now, Alberta's government won't budge.
There is a way for us to be able to address the issues of complexity without having a one-size-fits-all approach.
Well, why haven't they done any of those things? This is not a problem that sprang up a couple months ago. This is a problem that has absolutely been building for years.
And so the 2-week-long impasse continues. On Friday, however, the language was more pointed. The education minister even suggested multiple times that it's union leaders who are to blame for this strike.
We don't have any concerns with our rank-and-file teachers. We believe that by bringing in some enhanced mediation, we could bridge the divide, but apparently the union leaders don't want to entertain that.
But those union leaders have support. Polls show public opinion favors the teachers.
I don't think the government's doing a very good job with it.
Pay the teachers and get the class sizes down.
I think it's a really hard job and they need help.
Either way, expect movement soon.
If we do not get back to the table next week with the students returning to classroom, you should fully expect that there'll be legislation in the week of October 27th.
The ATA won't yet say if it will comply with a back-to-work order.
Tim joins us now. Tim, there are a lot of disruptions with kids out of class.
Yes, Sarah, that's right. And obviously, because of all the work being missed, some changes need to be made. So the provincial government announced today November diploma exams will now be optional. That, of course, means any student who still wants to write one of those exams can request to do so, but no one is going to fail because they don't. Tara, everyone else's grades will be taken from the in-classroom work that they've already done the rest of the school year.
Okay, Tim, thank you. 3 people are dead in less than 24 hours after crossing city streets, and police are urging both drivers and pedestrians to just pay attention. A 3rd person was struck and killed by a vehicle last night in the community of Woodlands. As the days grow shorter, police say this is an alarming trend. Tyson Fedor reports.
An elderly woman in her 80s is dead after she was struck in this unmarked crosswalk Thursday night around 8:30. The 20-year-old driver was not impaired, but speed is being investigated. He remained at the scene.
First, it was kind of shock, I didn't really understand. It took a second to process what was actually happening, and then the fire came down the road right away and began CPR.
Chris Morey has lived in the area for years. He says the intersection of Wood Park Boulevard Southwest and 117th Avenue is a known speedway.
People speed down this road all the time. There's poor lighting, no pedestrian lights, anything. They put the new islands in last year, but it has done nothing at all.
Traffic investigators have been busy as this was the 3rd fatality in just 23 and a half hours.
We cannot be on every street corner. owner. We'd love to be, but we can't be, so we do have to have a buy-in from the road users and the pedestrians.
Thursday morning, a man in his 20s struck and killed a woman in her 70s in Riverbend. She too was in an unmarked crosswalk. The driver fled the scene before turning himself into police several hours later. It came just 10 hours after a 47-year-old man was hit in this crosswalk at 17th Avenue and 38th Street Southeast as he walked against the pedestrian signal.
I'd like to think it is a wake-up call, but unfortunately we know that there are some people out there that feel that this will never happen to them, and they will continue to drive or to walk within traffic as they've always done it.
And October is Pedestrian Awareness Month.
If you're on your phone or you're texting, stop texting, concentrate on the road that you want to cross. If you see a pedestrian on the side of the road, anticipate that that person is likely to step out.
As for residents, they want to see changes made by the city to better protect all people using the roadway.
Kids, elderly people, everybody uses that crosswalk almost every day. And, you know, people's lives are at risk here.
And Tyson joins us from Woodlands tonight. Tyson, this has been a deadly year on Calgary roads.
Tara, 30 fatal crashes on Calgary roads so far this year, marking a 10-year high. 11 of those involved pedestrians who died, many of those in crosswalks. And for comparison, just last year, there was 13 total throughout the year. Police believe we probably will surpass that number, but are hopeful that does not occur. And of course, with the sun going down quicker each and every day, a lot more darkness as we head into these winter months. The clock's also going back 2 weeks from now as well. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. A fatality inquiry into a deadly rollover at the Columbia Icefield is underway. In July of 2020, 3 people died and 14 others were injured after a tour bus rolled down an embankment. Police did not lay criminal charges, but the bus operator pleaded guilty to charges under Alberta's Occupational Health and Safety Act and was fined. Fatality inquiries don't assign blame. Instead, they make recommendations to prevent similar deaths. A new report into Alberta Health Services contracts reveals widespread conflicts of interest, but found that senior officials failed to take action. The 43-page independent review comes after allegations of corruption involving multi-million-dollar deals for children's medication and private surgical facilities. Here's Mark Villani.
Premier Danielle Smith says her government is taking action, committed to immediate reforms in the procurement processes of Alberta Health Services.
This confirmed, I think, the fact that we needed to move in this direction, that AHS had bad practices.
But Alberta's NDP disagrees.
I believe the Premier is insulting the intelligence of Albertans when she tries to claim that the report is saying something that it doesn't.
Those responses stem from Friday's release of a 43-page independent report written by former Manitoba Judge Raymond Wyant. He reviewed allegations of corruption involving multi-million-dollar contracts for children's medication and surgeries by for-profit providers. Wyant found 2 senior AHS staff members had real or perceived conflicts of interest, but
there was no wrongdoing on the part of elected officials.
Wyant made several recommendations, including implementing a centralized system for conflicts of interest, requiring contracts over $10 million be reviewed by procurement lawyers, and improving the procurement process to require more details. 26 people were interviewed and more than 2 million documents reviewed, but Wyant says no one was subpoenaed and people declined interviews. Premier Smith and Health Minister Adriana LaGrange also weren't approached for comment.
There was nothing that he found, whether it was at the public service level or at the government level.
Wyant says he believed people were striving to tell the truth, but some weren't leaving him with the impression full and complete information was provided, and that he wasn't able to make a final and absolute determination.
So I think that this report doesn't invalidate some of those arguments that have been made that this is big enough that we should be doing a public inquiry.
And at the center of it all, former AHS CEO Asena Mentzelopoulos, who was fired for bringing these allegations to light. She says the Wyant report confirms these were legitimate issues that AHS was continuing to investigate when I was terminated 2 days before my meeting with the Auditor General. It's important to note that Judge Wyant's review was not a formal public inquiry.
We have already taken the steps to address that.
This is the heart of the corruption allegations against the UCP.
And Mark joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Mark, Premier Smith also faced questions today about the province's dealings with MH Care Medical and its CEO, Sam Maresh.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. The report found that AHS did not follow its own procedures when it signed a $70 million deal with MHCare to import children's painkillers from Turkey back in 2022. Now, Premier Smith says she's unaware of how much that company may have profited from that deal. Meanwhile, MHCare did not answer our questions on CEO Sam Maresh's refusal to answer Judge Wyant's questions about his profit margins in this deal, nor did that company say how it feels about the report's conclusion, as Alberta taxpayers were left on the hook for millions of dollars in these medications that they did not benefit from. Tara.
Okay, Mark Villani reporting. Mark, thank you. The federal health minister is in our city today to meet with provincial and territorial health ministers. Stephanie Thomas is following the discussion. So, Stephanie, what can you tell us?
Tara, of the topics that were discussed around the table, the group signed a letter committing their willingness to work together on quality, timely public health care. Now, the two-day meeting concluded at the Calgary TELUS Convention Centre on Friday afternoon. The federal Minister of Health, Marjorie Michel, said the discussions were productive. The health leaders continue to discuss the mobility of trained healthcare workers from elsewhere in the province or from other parts of the world.
The federal government is currently signing agreements with colleges for internationally educated health professionals projects. Alberta has been seeing many new foreign trained doctors joining their workforce.
With equitable and sustainable investment from the federal government, we can sustain, improve, and transform our healthcare systems to meet the needs of patients right across the country.
Now, Minister LaGrange also called on her federal counterpart to commit to providing long-term predictable health care funding for provinces and territories and to strengthen the Health Canada transfer. Now, whether Ottawa follows through on that, more will be known after the tabling of the fall budget on November 4th. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
We got a little bit of everything today. Snow and rain and sunshine. We'll check in with Danielle. How's the evening ahead looking?
Well, just about a moment ago, the snowflakes stopped falling here where I'm standing. And yeah, in some parts of the city, we're seeing a bit of wet snow. In other parts, some raindrops. In other parts, it's dry, but you can see some, you know, these types of clouds in the distance. So it's a moody day, as they say. 6 degrees is the temperature. That's certainly below normal. We only got up to 7 in the afternoon anyway. So tomorrow will be brighter, it will be warmer. But before we get to tomorrow, keep in mind we still have the potential for showers, thunderstorm, wet snow up until about 9 o'clock tonight. Then it clears out, leaving us with sunshine tomorrow. It will be gusty right through now through tomorrow afternoon. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Ottawa announced a new plan to reinforce the border. It means more agents focused on organized crime, drugs, and weapons. But is it enough to shut down illegal crossings? And a new study is raising concerns about the levels of lead found in protein powder. We'll take a look at the findings next. Immigration officers say they found 4 undocumented workers after searching a Calgary construction site this week. On Wednesday, the Canada Border Services Agency inspected the team working on the event center after receiving a tip about the work site. Because it is such a large site, immigration officers asked Calgary Police to be there as extra security. The 4 individuals found without status are required to report to the CBSA office. The federal government announced plans to beef up the border today, stating Canadians must look out for ourselves in a dangerous and divided world. Among other things, the Prime Minister pledged to hire 1,000 new border officers. Here's Judy Trin.
But we also have a slew of other prohibited devices.
Examples of illegal weapons seized at the Niagara Falls border crossing. To thwart growing threats, the Liberal government is funding more border security agents.
During the election campaign, we were clear that our borders had to be secure so everyone in Canada can feel safe. And we promised to hire 1,000 new CBSA officers to bolster our border protection efforts.
The upcoming budget will allocate $617 million to recruit 1,000 CBSA officers over the next 5 years, a pledge made by Mark Carney while campaigning to be Prime Minister.
So how many of those boots are going to be on the ground? Are we actually waiting for the budget for this funding to come through? Because we haven't had a budget. It comes in November. So there are actually more questions than answers that we got from the minister's announcement today.
A focus will be on hiring special analysts who can identify suspects connected to organized crime, human smuggling, immigration fraud, and terrorism.
It's very promising. We have to start somewhere. It's something we've been asking for a long time. Our members will be really happy to hear that this is going to come about.
The union representing border guards says the challenges include a need to expand training facilities and provide more equipment like these X-ray machines to agents so they can do more searches.
We don't really examine rail. Marine, we examine less than 1%. We have land borders, airports, which really overuse students, where we need to get officers in those positions. It's really across the board.
Hiring these new CBSA officers are measures on top of the $1.3 billion border security plan announced last year by the Liberals under Justin Trudeau. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
A new report this week is raising concerns about the craze over protein powders and shakes and what's being described as a troubling amount of lead found in some of them. Consumer Reports is calling it a hidden risk, but some in the industry are pushing back on that, calling the investigation alarmist. Here's John Venevali-Rao.
Yeah. At Toronto's Studio Fitness, where they help people achieve their strength-building dreams, personal trainer Clementine Nazin often recommends protein shakes, which she drinks twice a day.
Protein is honestly your best friend for any health or fitness goals.
She says they're great for muscle recovery, and at her gym, they ensure the protein powder they use in their drinks is healthy. Concerned about the new report raising questions about brands they don't use.
They should really tackle that issue because it becomes a really important safety hazard.
Consumer Reports tested 23 protein powders and shakes, and it says over 2/3 contained more lead in a single serving than what its experts considered safe for an entire day. In some cases, lead levels were 10 times higher, an issue they've looked at before.
It's concerning that these results are even worse than the last time we tested.
Experts at Consumer Reports went so far as to say consumers may want to avoid some of the products they named and moderate their intake of others. Experts say the concern is repeated consumption over time that could build up lead in the body and cause problems.
It could lead to mood disorders, cognitive decline, kidney disease, and even reproductive problems.
The report found plant-based protein powders had some of the most lead, which is found naturally in the environment, including in soil. In a statement, an industry group pushed back, calling the report alarmist, misleading, and unscientific, adding the levels of lead flagged by Consumer Reports are far below amounts present in many foods, including some fruits and vegetables. Still, some experts say consuming protein powder in moderation is key. If you want to use them, Consumer Reports is recommending you scrutinize your protein shakes and consume them on occasion. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's check out our 5-day forecast. How's the weekend shaping up?
Really good. Nicer than this. So happy Friday. You made it to the weekend, and it will brighten up tomorrow and warm up at least a little bit. Look at these temperatures. I mean, we did get to 12 in Calgary earlier today, but that was at 2 a.m. In the afternoon, we only got to 7, as high as 7. 6 degrees now as we start to cool down for the day. And yes, there are some wet snowflakes flying around parts of the city right now and outside of Calgary as well. Check out the temperature in Milk River, just 1, and just 3 in Lethbridge. So it's cool overall. We've been in the single digits in southern Alberta. We knew this was coming, and now we can look forward to some sunshine. Before we talk more about the longer range forecast, I did want to point out the winds. So we had a very gusty day outside of Calgary. In Calgary, our maximum gust was 35 kilometers per hour, but 72 in Red Deer, almost 90 in Pincher Creek, and above 80 in Lethbridge. Now, it will calm down in this corridor from Lethbridge to Pincher Creek. For tomorrow, you're looking at at 60-kilometer-per-hour gusts, but basically all of southern Alberta looking at 50 to 60-kilometer-per-hour gusts. So it will be windy tonight and through tomorrow as well. Typically, it calms down in the overnights. That's not going to be the case tonight for most communities. Check this out. We did have thunderstorm activity south of Hannah. This has now died out. We did have some along the foothills here that was tracking towards Highway 2. Still a small potential of any sort of thunderstorms popping up over this next hour, but that's less of a chance. We have this, though, that's mainly clearing out. Still the potential for showers, some wet snowflakes mixed in with that, like what's happening right now, right up until the midnight hour. Again, the winds will continue, but the clouds will clear out overnight, and then that sets us up for sunshine tomorrow, as you can see. But the clouds will be back for Sunday, and Sunday we also have a chance of showers once again. It's a smaller chance, and it shouldn't be as much as we've seen today, but there is that potential in the city and in all of southern Alberta throughout Sunday. All right, so brighter on Saturday. That's a look at the long-range forecast. And here you go, your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Mainly sunny for tomorrow, 11 degrees, but yes, it will be gusty, 40 kilometers per hour out of the west. 11 degrees, so we'll hold on to the double digits on Sunday, but we'll have some cloud cover move in, and we also have the chance of isolated showers. The cloud cover will stick around for Monday, smaller chance of showers by then, and still, just barely, still holding on to the double digits, but then we get into the teens with mainly sunny skies for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Monday is voting day for the municipal election. Advanced voting wrapped up last weekend with Elections Calgary reporting just over 96,000 advanced ballots. That's down from 141,000 in 2021. On Monday, polls will be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voters can use the online Where to Vote tool to find the polling location nearest to them. CTV News Calgary will have complete results, of course, reaction and analysis on election night. You can tune in at 11 p.m. for coverage from Calgary and across southern Alberta. After months, sometimes years spent writing, authors then hit the festival circus to promote their new novel, and Calgary Wordfest is at the top of the list for many writers. It is taking place now, and it's a popular event for readers and authors to connect. Kevin Fleming reports.
This is a homecoming for Vin Nguyen. He grew up in Calgary, but now lives and works in Toronto. He jumped at the chance to be part of the Calgary Wordfest.
I've attended Wordfest before, back in the day, years ago. And so to come back as an author, right? Like to come back here and to be able to meet readers and to meet other writers that I have read and loved and admired, and to meet new writers and get to know them. I'm so delighted.
His book is called The Migrant Rain Falls in Reverse. Nguyen is excited to share his book with Calgary readers. He's one of 50 authors invited to this year's Wordfest, with the majority being from Canada.
There are so many amazing books being written right now, and one of the ways in which Wordfest is more is we're not just fiction. We're memoir, we're sports, we're nonfiction, we're cookbooks. And so the amount of people and the amount of authors that we want to showcase is enormous.
Antonio Downing lives in Kitchener and says being part of the festival is a confidence builder.
People don't tell you, yeah, please grow up and be a writer. Like, parents don't say that to their kids. So you're always kind of in the back of your head going, well, why am I doing this? And I think when you're around a bunch of writers who are also doing it and made that choice, and readers who really appreciate it, you kind of go, yes, this is actually why I'm doing it.
Downing's fourth book has just been released, titled Black Cherokee.
It's about a coming of age of a young girl who is both Black and Cherokee. Ta-da! And both sides of her communities reject her because, the Black people are like, why are you praying to the river? And the Cherokee people are like, why is your hair so curly? And so she has to figure out how to be.
The 6-day event is a chance for Calgary readers to meet and hear from their favorite authors, but also for those writers to meet the people who support their work. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
So the festival runs until Sunday, October 19th. We have more information on our website. Pierre Poilievre lobs some wild accusations. Just ahead, why some say the opposition leader has gone too far with accusations of a police cover-up. And later, a very creative rescue and animal organization uses a kid's toy to do a deep dive. Donald Trump hosted Ukraine's president at the White House today. The focus, a request for U.S. Tomahawk missiles that Kyiv says are desperately needed.
Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks. That's why we need Tomahawks. But United States is a very strong production, and the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles. But they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
Is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others. And they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war.
The U.S. president, though, signaled he is not ready to sell Ukraine the long-range missile system. Trump says his country also needs the Tomahawk and does not want to deplete its stock. Today, he said he believes the war can be ended soon and a decision on the missiles would not be necessary. Trump spoke by phone yesterday with Russian President Vladimir Putin and says they agreed to meet in Budapest in a few weeks. The RCMP is forcefully denying allegations of political interference lobbed by Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. In an interview posted online, Poilievre accused the Mounties of shielding former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from criminal charges, even calling the force's leadership, quote, despicable. Here's Abigail Beeman.
Many of the scandals of the Trudeau era should have been involved jail time.
In an interview posted to YouTube, the Conservative leader ripped into his former House of Commons opponent for the 2019 SNC-Lavalin affair and Justin Trudeau's 2016 family vacation on the Aga Khan's private island, as well as how the RCMP handled the cases.
The RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
There's no interference. I don't take any orders from any political individual.
When the RCMP's top cop rejected cover-up claims,
I would invite Mr. Poilievre to meet with us and to meet with the people who run this great organization.
Pierre Poilievre said he would accept the invitation and double down.
If the RCMP commissioner is now saying that he wants to open that investigation, we're prepared to hand over all the evidence of Mr. Trudeau's criminal code violations.
In this case, the opposition leader is going a bit too far.
This political strategist says there is room to challenge and critique, but to win new voters, Poilievre may want to adopt a more moderate approach to complex issues like the state of the RCMP.
Pierre Poilievre thinks people are fired up about Justin Trudeau. He and his caucus are fired up about Justin Trudeau, but I think the public has moved on.
And to recap from the prior government, the ethics commissioner did find Prime Minister Trudeau broke the rules in both cases, but the RCMP said there wasn't enough evidence for a criminal offense in the SNC case, and in the case of the near-decade-old vacation, even though long pressed by the Conservatives, the RCMP said it couldn't productively pursue a criminal investigation. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
In the UK, Prince Andrew has announced he is giving up his royal title of the Duke of York and other honors. Andrew said he and the royal family decided that the continued accusations against him detract from his duties. Excerpts have been published of an upcoming posthumous memoir from Virginia Roberts-Giuffre. She alleged she was trafficked by the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and had sex with the prince when she was just 17. Andrew stepped away from public life in 2019 but denied wrongdoing. Today, he said he vigorously denies the accusations against him. Andrew will remain a prince, which he has been entitled to since birth. We'll call them the queens of quilting. These savvy seniors are sewing up some incredible blankets, and they are looking for some talented newcomers to join the group. A group of volunteers is trying to help charities cover their costs by covering you with one of their quilts. The St. Andrew's Quilting Club, or the Quilting Queens of Edmonton, depending on who you ask, support local charities while also supporting each other. Here's Matt Woodman.
Every Tuesday morning, St. Andrew's United Church turns into an assembly line. Each member of the Quilting Queens is doing their part to finish these blankets ahead of their annual sale.
The favorite part is seeing people come to the sale and going, oh, look at that. Oh, I'd like that.
Lynn Tedder joined the group nearly 20 years ago after attending a sale herself. She's now the group's coordinator, ensuring all this fabric is stitched into quilts of all shapes, sizes, and patterns.
When we have stuff for the Oilers, they almost get into a fight over it.
Joyce McRory is working on one of those Oilers quilts.
Does that look navy blue to you?
At 100, she admits her vision isn't as strong as it used to be, but her spirit and work ethic are second to none.
She is the ever-ready bunny. She just goes. When she joined us, we never believed she was as old as she said.
Selfishly, it's good for me. It's good to belong to the group.
A group that supports one another through the good times like McRory's birthday.
I don't know how many people were there. It was just a wonderful day. We never did get back to quilting.
And through the tough times.
My sister passed away, and her service was here, and, you know, everybody showed up. They didn't know her, but they showed up for me.
If you know how to sew and enjoy quilting, you're encouraged to stop by one Tuesday.
We'd love to have some younger people join us.
Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
Those are some very talented ladies. That is complex work.
Yeah.
All right, it's Friday, so let's kick things off with some K9 karaoke.
Right now, lose it. Just lose it. Go crazy. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
This is De Niro the Frenchie. He loves the hairdryer, which gave his owner a hilarious idea. They lip sync to Eminem after every grooming session.
Got it right down, right?
He's pretty good.
Pretty good rapper, right?
So cute. I think that's just the air blowing in his face, but pretty cute. Some very resourceful rescuers had to get creative in their attempts to retrieve a kitten stuck in a storm drain.
Midway through, you think? Yeah, midway. Hi, kitty.
Well, they realized that they couldn't themselves fit in there, so they used a remote control car to get the job done.
Okay.
They sent the toy down the drain, and the kitten was so intrigued that it followed the car out into the waiting arms of a rescuer on the other end. It worked out perfectly.
Don't worry, kitty, you will be happy. Maybe not there, but you will be happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Better than in that drain.
Smart thinking. Well, have you ever wondered how those famous wax figures are actually made?
What I'm most excited about is the idea of actually seeing my children standing next to it.
So that's actor Gillian Anderson being immortalized by Madame Tussauds in London. Before any of the wax carving starts, the artists take measurements to make sure that that figure is as lifelike as possible. Anderson says she remembers visiting the museum when she was growing up in London, so she was more than happy to help out. Her wax figure will make its debut later this year.
They are very cool.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Wow, look at all that to take
Really
measurements.
cool. Really cool. Another Canadian company is laying off staff, this time at Scotiabank. We have details of the cuts coming up next in our business report.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera. It looks a little nicer than how it looked just an hour ago. So in the city so far today, we've had showers, we've had thunderstorm activity somewhat just outside of the city. We had snowflakes. So it's been a busy day in all of southern Alberta, and it certainly has been a cool day. We did reach a high of 12 today, but that was at 2 a.m. In the afternoon, the warmest we got was 7. And now we're dipping for the day. We're down to 6 degrees. So of course, we're nowhere near the record-breaking high of today, set back in 1963 of 24.4. We will get to normal temperatures tomorrow. So normal is 11 degrees for this time of year, and we'll get back into those double digits and normal temperatures. But check out these low highs today. Just 1 right now in Milk River, 3 in Lethbridge, 6 in Calgary, and as you can see here, it was definitely a very gusty day for Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek, over 80 kilometers per hour. You're looking at 60 kilometers per hour tomorrow. Calgary, 40, maybe 50 kilometers per hour. And Medicine Hat, same idea with the 50. So it'll be another windy day. In fact, the winds won't calm down very much tonight even, but at least this active weather is starting to make its way out. We do have some thunderstorm activity bubbling up just north of Medicine Hat. You could see that activity. So thunderstorm activity anywhere in southern Alberta over this next hour is possible, and then that risk is gone. But still gusty through the overnights, getting up to a high of 11 tomorrow. Windy out of the west, 40 kilometers per hour. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. fixed right or it's free. All right, look how chilly it is in Kamloops tomorrow, just 9 degrees. Edmonton looking at a high of 13, Red Deer as well. And a little further south, not any warmer, but warmer at least than today. So 12 for Olds tomorrow, 14 for Drumheller, 12 for Lethbridge, and 13 for Medicine Hat. Tara?
An independent report into multi-million-dollar procurement contracts from Alberta Health Services has been publicly released. The report finds conflicts of interest were widely known, but no action was taken by senior officials. The official opposition is calling for a public inquiry. The province sent a letter requesting teachers go back to class Monday and begin enhanced mediation, but class sizes would not be included in those discussions. Alberta Teachers Association says that undermines any attempt at resolution. And Ottawa announced plans today to hire 1,000 new border officers, including analysts to identify suspects connected to organized crime, immigration fraud, and terrorism. Meta is adding parental controls for teenagers interacting with its artificial intelligence chatbots. The social media company is rolling out a number of AI tools, including digital characters that users can interact with. Starting next year, parents will be able to turn off some or all of those one-on-one chats on their teens' accounts, with the exception of Meta's main AI assistant. Meta says parents will also get insights about what their kids are chatting about with the characters, but they won't get access to the full conversation. The changes come as the social media giant and AI chatbots face criticism over potential harms posed to younger users. One of the big Canadian banks is cutting jobs. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more on that.
Scotiabank hasn't shared how many people it's laying off, but jobs are being lost across its banking unit. The head of the bank's Canadian operation says today marks an inflection point in the company's quest to build a better, more profitable bank. 2 years ago, the bank cut 3% of its global workforce before embarking on a restructuring plan. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.36. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 57.15. Western Canadian Select is down $1 to 46.55. And the TSX dropped 350 points today, ending the week at 30,108. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
Canada's passport has moved ahead of the U.S. in the list of most powerful in the world. Powerful is defined in terms of visa-free access to countries. Canada now ranks number 9 in the Henley Passport Index out of 183 countries. The U.S. fell out of the top 10 for the first time. It's now sitting at number 12. Singapore, South Korea, and Japan make up the top 3. It'll be a cooler day when the Stamps host the Argos tomorrow, and that could mean a big day for Stamps running back Dedrick Mills. Glenn has that story for us next.
Tell me, would you wait for me? Baby, I'm a rolling stone. I got a lot right in me, but I don't want to say this wrong.
MGK has been named the halftime headliner at this year's Grey Cup. The artist, formerly known as Machine Gun Kelly, is heading out on his Lost Americana tour after the big game in Winnipeg on November 16th. Also performing is Canadian rock group Our Lady Peace, who will headline the kickoff show, and Manitoba's Katie St. Germain is set to sing the national anthem. The Toronto Blue Jays have completely flipped the script in the American Championship Series. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, after the first 2 games, we kind of worried the Jays were down and out.
Well, Tara, things didn't look very good, but a pair of convincing wins in Seattle, and all of a sudden this series all tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 going on right now in Seattle. Let's check out some of those highlights. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Jays this afternoon. Mariners get to him in the bottom of the second. Eugenio Suarez gives this one a ride to left center. Going, and gone. Solo shot for Suarez. Mariners up 1-0. Jays chance to score in the 4th. Bases loaded for Ernie Clement, but he gets on top of this pitch. Fair ball. Cal Raleigh steps on home plate. Throws to first. Double play. Tough one for the Jays. Jays finally, though, get to the Mariners pitching in the top of the 5th. Runner on for George Springer. He hammers this one to left center. It's off the wall. Scores Addison Barger from second base. So we are tied at 1 apiece. And the Jays would take their first lead of the game in the top of the 6th. Runner on second for Clement with the base hit to right center. They'll wave Alejandro Kirk. The throw is offline. He scores. So it's 2-1 for the Jays now. Another tough break for the Jays in the top of the seventh. George Springer at bat. This one gets away from Brian Wu. Goes right off Springer's kneecap. Went down hard. Had to leave the game. Hopefully he is all right. They are now in the bottom of the eighth. The Mariners just tied the game at 2 apiece. Calgary Stampeders can clinch a playoff spot with one more victory, and they'd love to do it tomorrow against the Toronto Argonauts at home. Meanwhile, now with the weather getting a little cooler, the running game will be even more of a factor. Dedrick Mills had some big goals heading into this season, and they weren't just about football. Mills wanted to change his life and become a better person.
Like I said, I feel great and I feel good with who I am and the person that I am. And the VA was right. We did have a talk in the offseason about the leadership, the problems that we've had here before and stuff like that. And I just told him I wasn't going to be part of that problem no more. I want to be part of the solution. And that's what I've been trying to do this whole season.
The changes Mills made helped make him a better football player. For the first time in his career, he cracked the 1,000-yard rushing mark in a season. And with just 2 games left in the regular season, he leads the league in rushing with 1,225 yards on 219 carries. Mills says he'd love to win the rushing title, but he couldn't do it all by himself.
Like I said, I thank my offensive line for giving me the holes. The coaches and quarterbacks just calling the plays for me to get down the field and just, make plays happen and for me to get these yards that I have this year.
Head coach Dave Dickinson has noticed a big difference in his running back this season.
He's got a good thing going in his private life and his personal life, but he takes that energy, and you can see the guys have gravitated towards him, and he's been setting a high standard, and our running back room has been excellent across the board. So, happy with what he's doing and proud of him, but there's a lot more to do.
Mills isn't the only weapon the Stamps have at running back. Ludovic Choquette took a huge step last game and scored his first touchdown in the CFL against the Ticats.
It feels great. I can't really put words into it. It's always a dream when you grow up. You're always trying to aim for having a touchdown to help a team win in a professional level. So now at this point, it's just for me to get not used to it, but just to keep working and help my team any way I can.
Mills told us he got engaged about a month ago, and he says that's also helped keep him grounded. Stamps and Argos kickoff time for that game a little after 5 o'clock at McMahon Stadium.
That will require bundling up, I would say, if you're going to be sitting there for a couple of hours. It's not going to be that warm tomorrow.
No, not that warm tomorrow. Warmer than today, so that's a plus, right? Headed
it's balmy. What are you talking about? Huh?
Downright balmy. Mainly sunny, so definitely brighter, but the wind will stick around tonight and through tomorrow. So it will be gusty tomorrow as well, about 40 kilometers per hour, but at least we'll get into the double digits tomorrow. We'll hold on to double digits for Sunday as well, but Sunday looks a little on the gloomier side, cloud cover, some showers possible, as you can see here. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And this one, Chris Peterson sent this one in. This is the storm rolling in near Red Deer Lake today. So it's been an active day in all of central and southern Alberta. Thunderstorms, wet snow, rain, clouds.
We got it all up here.
Yeah, crazy winds.
Yep. It blew through here first, I think. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific weekend.